So, started from the 1950s, any mile railroad company that bottled North American stock would have some kind of F unit in their catalog. Right here, we have a Marx F7 unit. It's got the motor drive on one end and then the drive shaft, which drives the other wheels. American Flyer had a very similar setup. And over here, in the same vintage, we had this Athearn HIF drive, or high F drive. It used these thin poles off of each end of the motor, which then drove the wheels using rubber bands. Then we have these Stewart Brothers units right here and right here, which use the drive very similar to Athearn Blue Box. They are the quietest and by far the best running engines in my collection. Right here we have a lifelike engine with the pancake motor in one end, and there's a pancake motor, there's the pickup. So unlike the others, these are only 4-wheel drive instead of 8-wheel drive. This one is a Bachmann. This is one of the ones which had the notorious splitting gears. So it's got the motor in one end and the pickup in the other. This Bachmann is the one that originally came with the gray shell. It is actually better because it has pickups on the front two wheels, pickup on the front wheel, the back bogie, but only the back two wheels are powered. But it runs better and that isn't subject to split gears like the others are. Right here in the middle, we have a Playart engine. Now, Playart existed from 1968 to about 1983. They sold trains through Model Power, AMT, and I believe Tomy of Japan. Now, a few months ago, SMT Mainline did a review of a Model Power train that had a Coca-Cola theme. And the front engine was a Shikansan engine. Then there's a flat car pulling an unpowered train like this. And then some freight cars, all on the Coca-Cola theme. That train was also made by Playart. There's a website that's devoted to Lima trains, but it has a Playart page because many of the Playart trains were originally Lima tooling. So on this page you can see the F unit we looked at earlier. You can see the little tank engine, and you can see the Shikansan locomotive as well. So it was sold on the Model Power brand, but it was made by Playart. Now, if you were to take the shell off of this, and I did take the shell off of this one, you would see that it had a cam motor that was vertically mounted, and it drove on the steam engine, it drove the back wheel through a worm gear and a single gear setup like this. And you can't see it on the Playart F unit, but probably has a similar gear arrangement that drives both. If you look closely in there, you can barely see the motor shell. So notice it doesn't have any traction tires on it. Well, I guess it does, but you know, you'll see in a minute that they're fair to middling in terms of performance. It's obviously HO scale, the same as these. The little tank engine, though, is British OO. If you put the cab next to this F unit, you can tell that clearly it's too tall. But if If you take it and place it next to an 00 gauge engine like this, the cab is just the right height. So, like even next to Thomas right here. So this is actually a British 00 gauge engine. Now the problem with the Playart setup is the lower bearing. It had to endure both the weight of that cam motor inside, pressing down on it, and the torque of the worm gear. And what tends to happen is they tend to get worn. That bearing tends to wear out. And when it does, the engines develop a bad case of the shakes. We're going to run this one in a minute, and you'll see that it shakes so bad that it can hardly keep a car coupled to it. Now the car, I'm going to try coupling to it. Is this Lima car. Although Playart sold a very similar car to it as well. We're going to take the Playart F unit and hook it up to these three Tyco cars right here. And what you'll see when we run it is, even though it has traction tires on here, they don't tend to work very well. And the way of the engine causes it to struggle. So it doesn't pull this train very well. Even though the locomotives by Lifelike, Bachmann, Athearn, Stewart Brothers, and the one brand I forgot to mention, even the one that came with it, Tyco, which has a type motor in the back, pickups on the front. All these didn't have any trouble pulling it. But you'll see in a minute that the Playcraft unit did. At the same time, I'm running the two Playart trains. I'm also running my Marks Niagara with a string of express reefers. There's two reasons why I'm running the Marks train right now. One is that it's pulling my autumn and Thanksgiving reefer. The other reason is that it has a smoke unit, and so it gives me a chance to use my pumpkin spice smoke fluid. Happy autumn, everyone.